Now, we are at a land between the lakes at a spot called Gatlin Point, and first kayaking outing of the year. So, we had a couple other places in mind earlier this morning, but we did not realize that there was a fishing tournament going on and it was all packed up already. So we came out here and we're gonna kayak around, probably go to the other side of the Boy Scout camp right over here and find a place, make our little lunch. Okay, this little area that we're pulling into, or getting up to, is a little area I have earmarked for some backcountry camping. Forget what the permit costs for dispersed and backcountry camping out here. I buy mine on a yearly basis as a combination combination and camping, and it's like $25, something like that. But you can get individual permits, $5, $6, $7, something like that. There's a hiking trail that loops this little lake. Now that things are starting to green up, you're not going to see much of it, but it comes across here on the right, down into this little dip, and then back over the hill to your left. This little spot in here I've got kind of earmarked as a good little spot to pitch a hammock camp, maybe back in there on the hillside or something, get away from some of the mosquitoes that summer will bring. Just a pretty little area, I think. Another pretty little shoreline. I did forget to mention when we first got here that the name of this little lake is Bards Lake. It's just a small impoundment in the land between the lakes area. The main lake is Lake Barkley, which is part of the Cumberland River. This is another little shoreline up in here. Pretty little spot. And it looks like the end of the road for me. Okay, on the right up here, just past these fishermen, we're coming up on Brandon Springs Group Camp. Most of the time I will refer to it as the Boy Scout camp. It is just a group camp. School bands, church groups. I know the local motorcycle club will host a camp in the summer times for ill children, and that goes on for about a week. It's for the most part just a campground that Land Between the Lakes here has set aside for large groups and special functions. When we went by it earlier, I did not see anybody out here, maybe kind of closed for the season or just not in use anyhow today. I'm going to see if we can't find a little spot to pull into and maybe find a picnic table with a good view of the lake and such, and we'll do our little lunch here. According to my little phone app, we've been paddling around just about an hour now, and have went a little over 2 miles in and out of this little lake. So it's getting close to lunchtime, so let's see if we can't find a place to do up our lunch. Okay, we found a little spot here at the campgrounds. The group campgrounds, and it's a neat little spot. There's, as you can see here, there is a nice little bonfire ring and plenty of bleachers, and Ruth picking her toes. Yep, neat little group spot area. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes to set up my stuff, and then we'll talk about the lunch. Okay, today's lunch, I was trying to think of an easier way to do spaghetti out in the field, on the trail. So that's what we're going to really do today, is just a spaghetti, a little bit of a meat sauce. And I'm going to show you what I did though. My intent is not that it was still frozen, and it is, but I went ahead and, it's not too bad. I went ahead and took a jar of tomato sauce. I think mine was a Walmart brand, extra garlic and herbs, but I divided it up into fourths and put it in little glass jars and froze it. Once it was frozen as a block, then I put it in little vacuum seal bags and sealed it up. So at least my waste is less. I'm not carrying a bunch of jars out in the woods with me, and there's nothing. And in the middle of the summertime, at least first going, it kind of acts as a little ice pack for you. But it's just an easier way of portioning it out and less waste. So that's what I did with the sauce. The meat parts, what I learned from Chef Glenn after doing other dehydrated meats was to make gravel. So this was Italian sausage, just a bulk Italian sausage. I added some breadcrumbs to it and packed it in there, cooked it up at home. I dehydrated it, and it took probably a good 12-15 hours to dehydrate. But then after that, before that, I rinsed off some of the fat stuff before dehydrating it, so I don't have as much fat to go rancid and so forth. But so I did the same thing. I took a 1-pound Italian sausage and broke it down into fourths. I think currently this morning when I was weighing it out for the little bags, I've got about 1.3 ounces of dehydrated meat that I'm going to rehydrate and then add to sauce, and of course just pasta. I went with the whole grain thin spaghetti, mostly the thin mostly, so it won't take so long to cook out in the field. Okay, I've got my spaghetti water going, and that doesn't need any explanation. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the fry pan, and I wish I knew exactly how much. I don't. The meat pieces. I initially packaged everything up in single servings. I know I'm just doing a double batch here because but I thought it was easier for packaging just to do it in individual servings. So let that heat up and rehydrate a few minutes. We'll get back to you after something starts taking place. But like I said, I just want to let these little crumble pieces rehydrate back up, so it'll probably take 10 minutes maybe. I just want that to plump up, so I want it's on? No. Seeds. I'll let that plump up just a little bit more and maybe drain off a little bit of the liquid, but it's as you can see, it's rehydrating pretty well. I'll let that go a few minutes more. You can still, as you squeeze it, you can feel that it's still kind of firm in the middle. So the sausage is just about fully rehydrated. I took a little sample piece. Most of the liquid I'm going to let cook off real fast, so turn that up. Then we'll just add the pasta sauce, let that heat up. Spaghetti water is really ready. So, it took maybe 10 minutes, I think, to 15 maybe at the most for that. Most of the time I had the stove off. I just heated it up, got a good steam on it, put the lid on it and let it sit. Just a little bit more of that cook off, and then we'll add the sauce to it. The other idea I had with the sauce, I was going to try, I'll probably do that next time around just to experiment with, was to dehydrate the sauce down to like a leather, and then reconstitute it with water out in the world. For right now, I just tried the little frozen block one. I think I like that. It worked out pretty good as far as my overall trash. The weight's a lot less. I think it would, I think even in the heat of summer, in a backpack or something, it would hold up okay over the course of a long weekend. Let me turn that down now. Alrighty. So just let that simmer away and warm up, and then do my pasta. Alrighty, so everything is done. There's the pasta, the sauce. Alright, Ruthie, tell me how much you need.
More.
Yeah, I was hoping so.
It's a really puny
Well,
fork.
more?
How much is left in the bowl?
Yeah, well, there's still... I was trying to really do it in half, but...
That's good,
Okay.
I guess.
More?
That's good.
Alright.
Do you want my spoon?
Okay.
Okay.
And the sauce.
That should be... That's good. More, very good.
Here you go, Ruthie. And for you guys watching, there we go. An easier spaghetti and meat sauce on the trail.
Because I burned myself.
Yeah, well, I burnt myself on the last one, so here you go.
That's it. Oh, sweet goddess. That's good. That's really good.
Alrighty. Alright, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the woods.
That's good, babe.